is it worthwhile or not. Purpose of the preliminary investigation. Purpose of preliminary investigation is to gather enough information to determine if the information or problem specified in the system request. Preliminary investigation क्यों किया जाता है? Preliminary investigation information determine करने ਲਈ that we should have enough information कि ਅਸੀਂ एक efficient system ਜਿਹੜਾ develop कर सकिए. What is a system request? It is the starting point for modifying an information system. Information system may be a software, it may be a project, it may be a, any organizational project. It is the starting point of any SDLC. It is a formal way of asking for assistance from the information system department. System request may propose enhancements for an existing system, the correction of problems, the development of an entire new information system. So system request key hai? System request is the starting point for any development of any new system. Major four proposes of system request are enhancement for an existing system. किसी भी existing system ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ enhancements करनियाँ, कुछ features include करने, कुछ editing updations करनियाँ to improve the outcome of the system. Next is the correction of the problems. Existing system ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ जो problems हैं, जो errors हैं, कोई जिसके करके कुछ outcomes गलत आ रही हैं, कुछ graphs सही नहीं आ रहा, that is the part of correction of problem. The development of an entire new information system. जे कुछ ऐसा नहीं जे existing system किसी भी aspects तो ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਐਗਜ਼ਿਸਟਿੰਗ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮਸ ਹੈ, ਐਗਜ਼ਿਸਟਿੰਗ ਐਨਵਾਇਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਫਿਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਉਹਦੀਆਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਰਿਕੁਆਇਰਮੈਂਟਸ ਨੂੰ ਫੁਲਫਿਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ, then it should be an good idea to develop an entire new information system. ਇੱਕ existing system ਨੂੰ replace ਕਰਨਾ ਇੱਕ ਨਵੇਂ system ਨਾਲ. Now the form for system request includes it should be filled when requesting for service, must be easy to understand, must be easy to use, must include clear instructions, should contain enough space for all required information, should indicate what supporting documents are needed. So what is a system request form? System request form is a document. ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਨਵੇਂ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਨੂੰ ਨਿਊ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਇੰਟਰੋਡਿਊਸ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਇੱਕ ਰਿਕੁਐਸਟ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ. ਉਸ ਰਿਕੁਐਸਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਐਵਰੀਥਿੰਗ ਸ਼ੁੱਡ ਬੀ ਕਲੀਅਰ कि की रिक्वायरमेंट्स हैं, की रिसोर्सेज अवेलेबल हैं, रिक्वायरमेंट्स हैं, वट एवर आर द एनवायरमेंटल कंडीशंस. Now what are the objectives of the preliminary investigation? First main objective of the preliminary investigation is the understand true nature of the problem. ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਜੈਕਟ ਨੂੰ ਡਿਵੈਲਪ ਕਰਨ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਪ੍ਰੀਲਿਮਿਨਰੀ ਇਨਵੈਸਟੀਗੇਸ਼ਨ ਸਿਰਫ ਇਸ ਲਈ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਜੋ ਕੰਮ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਨ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ, ਪ੍ਰੋਜੈਕਟ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਨ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਇਹ ਕਲੀਅਰ ਹੋਵੇ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਹੈ ਕੀ, what is the nature of the problem, that why we are going to develop a new system and why we are going to replace the existing system, what are the problems in existing system and why those problems are biasing the work of the existing system. Then define the scope and constraints of the proposed system project. New system, proposed system the scope define करना and constraints of the proposed system उसदे ते केड़े-केड़े constraints होंगे जो कुछ constraints like केड़ियां inputs ਨੂੰ ਉਹ project accept करेगा किनू नहीं करेगा, what will be the outcome of the project. Identify benefits of the proposed system if completed. Benefits includes the reasons why we are going to select this project, why this project is proposed, why this is selected to complete. Is it beneficial to the organization or not? Specify time and money estimates for the next SDLC project phase, system analysis and the development phases. ਪ੍ਰੀਲਿਮਿਨਰੀ ਇਨਵੈਸਟੀਗੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੈਕਸਟ SDLC ਦੇ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਫੇਜ਼ਸ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਫੇਜ਼ਸ ਦੇ ਕੁਝ ਐਸਟੀਮੇਟਸ ਲਗਾਏ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਟਾਈਮ ਸ਼ਡਿਊਲ ਕੀ ਹੋਏਗਾ. Present a report and management describing the problem and detailing recommendation of the current system. ਪ੍ਰੀਲਿਮਿਨਰੀ ਇਨਵੈਸਟੀਗੇਸ਼ਨ ਕੰਪਲੀਟ ਹੋਣ ਤੇ ਇਸ ਫੇਜ਼ ਦੇ ਕੰਪਲੀਟ ਹੋਣ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਕੀ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ, ਇੱਕ ਡਾਕੂਮੈਂਟਡ ਰਿਪੋਰਟ ਬਣਾਈ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਉਸ ਰਿਪੋਰਟ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਫਾਰਮੈਟ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਪਾਰਟਿਕੂਲਰ, ਉਸ ਰਿਪੋਰਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਐਵਰੀਥਿੰਗ ਵੁੱਡ ਵੀ ਹੈਵ ਸਟੱਡੀਡ ਅਬਾਊਟ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਜੈਕਟ, what we are going to propose and what we are going to develop include ਹੁੰਦਾ। Now we will study the steps of the preliminary investigation in detail. First of all, we will count on the steps. First step is understanding the problem or opportunity, and the second step is define the project scope and constraints. Third is the perform fact finding, that includes analyze organizational charts, conduct interviews, review documentation, observe operations to obtain information, conduct a survey of people who use the system. And the fourth step is estimate the project's benefits, that is very important. And the next step is estimate project development time and cost. And the sixth step is, that is present results and documentation to the management. All these are the steps of preliminary investigation. That is as we know, preliminary investigation is the part of SDLC, and all these 6 phases steps are the phases of the preliminary investigation. So first we will study the first step, that is understand the problem, what the problem is, identify the true nature of the problem and the reason for the system request. Existing system the problem ਕੀ ਹੈ and why the system request is there, कि एक नवे system ਲਈ request क्यों आई है, क्यों एक नवा system develop करना पै रहा है। State the problem may not be the real problem. Clear statement define the investigation scope. जो भी problem एक given request ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ statement ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ problem ਦਿੱਤੀ ਗਈ, it should not be ਉਸਦੇ words ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਉਹ clear ਨਾ ਹੋਵੇ, ਤਾਂ ਇਹਦੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਇੱਕ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪੂਰਾ preliminary investigation ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ phase ਹੈ ਉਹ perform ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ। Clear statement define the investigation scope. The second step is define the project scope and constraints. In project scope, we have defined the range or extent of the project, set the project boundaries. एक पर्टिकुलर प्रोजेक्ट ਦੀ ਰੇਂਜ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਹੈ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਏਰੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਯੂਜ਼ ਹੋਏਗਾ ਤੇ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਫੀਚਰਸ ਤੇ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਫੰਕਸ਼ਨਸ ਅਪਲਾਈ ਹੋਣਗੇ, those are part of the range or extent of the project. And set the project boundaries. These are the part of defining the project scope. Define the project scope and constraints. There are some constraints and examples. For example, we will compare present and future, internal and external, mandatory and desirable constraints. First of all, present and future. Its example is given. Present, the inventory system must be operational on January 1st, 2002. It means it is the present requirement of the environment or organization that inventory system must be operational on January 1st. Then the future, the web based sales system must be able to handle transaction volume predicted for the next 3 years. Like present system ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ inventory system should be at particular time, ਕਿਸੇ ਇੱਕ particular time ਤੇ it should be operational. And in future constraint ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ time span ਦਿੱਤਾ ਗਿਆ, ਇੱਕ idea that it should be completed in next 3 years. It may vary from few months to next. Internal and external. Internal and external constraints are example of this constraint is the human resource system must interface with the current accounting systems. And external constraints as compared to internal, the payroll system must produce output data in a form acceptable to the internal revenue services. Next word is the mandatory and desirable. The order entry system must run in Unix environment, that is mandatory condition or constraint. And desirable constraints are that should be there is, that are the purchasing system should provide user customizable screens after further investigation. This is desirable only if adding this feature will not delay the project. Now the third step is perform the fact finding. There are basic concepts in the fact finding are organizational charts. So we should study the organizational charts, graphs of that organization and the inputs and outputs, and what are the performance of that organization. conduct interviews. They should be interview should be conducted with the managers and the employees of the company or organization for which we are going to produce the develop the project. Observe operations. Next is the carry out a user survey. So what who will be the end user of the project? We should survey on this concept. Determine feasibility. So as we have already studied what is feasibility, the fourth step of the preliminary investigation phase includes the operational, technical and economic feasibility. So it should be very clear at the starting of the project what are the whether the project is economically, technically and operationally feasible in the environment or not. Estimate time and cost to continue development. Determine what information is needed. So we should be aware of this thing that what information will be needed in the future. Identify the source of information. ਕਿਹੜੇ source ਤੋਂ ਉਹ information ਲਈ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ. We should be aware of this thing. Decide whether to use interviews, if so how many and what time needed. कि ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ interviews conduct ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ for as an information source, then what will the time for that interview and how many interviews should be conducted. Decide whether to use survey, if so who to complete it and what time needed. If we need an end user survey, then what is the time and who will do that, we have to decide it in prior. Estimate the cost of gathering, analyzing and reporting the information to management. So it is the major thing that we have to study prior, that is we have to estimate the cost of this phase, the preliminary investigation. How will be cost of gathering, analyzing and reporting the information. Next, the present results and recommendation to the management. It includes evaluation of system request. Evaluation includes that whether the request is valid or not. Estimate the cost and benefits. What will be the cost of the project and what will be the benefits of the project, and recommendations, if this project is recommended for development or not, for further phases it will be given or not. Oral and written presentation on the basis of whole preliminary investigation. Now the last step is the preliminary investigation report. After conducting the preliminary investigation, there is a need to write a report. So preliminary investigation phase दौरान हर एक concept दी, हर एक study दी documentation होनी चाहिए है. उस documentation ਦਾ एक particular format ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ एक report write ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ. That is format varies from an organization to another organization. Particular organizations ਦਾ format and preliminary investigation report the format vary करता है from organization to organization, but typically एक general format है that includes 7 sections. First is the introduction to the preliminary investigation, that includes the problem definition. Second is the system request summary. What is the request from the organization, and second is the third is the findings, what we have find from the survey and from what information we have gathered from the organization or any other survey. That is the work of a system analyst. Next are the recommendations, whether the project is recommended or not. In the next is the time and cost estimates. Time and cost estimates includes the time for the project and what is the cost for the project, and expected benefits also will be written in this report. And the last part for this report is the appendix. Now the summary of the preliminary investigation, we will study the whole topic in few slides. What is the summary of preliminary investigation? Determine if a new system is needed. पहला find out करना है कि एक नवा system required है या नहीं. 3 primary tasks for this is define the problem. By observing an interview, determine what the information is needed by whom, when, where and why. Suggest alternative solutions. Prepare a short report. Feasibility study and system survey is very important part of the preliminary investigation. Next, again, determine the problem, describe the problem, understand management decision, organizational charts, information, informal hierarchy, produce rough plans on what to do. Next is the problem. In problem definition, nature of the problem, separate problem from symptoms of problem, scope of the project, budgets and schedules, objectives of the projects, what user think system should do. And the last is the report of the investigation part. Preliminary investigation includes what you have found, recommendations, and financially feasible or not. That's all.